Praise the Lord. Well, okay. Thank you, everybody. Jesus is at work. People are being saved. Theology is being revealed, strengthening the hearts of believers. People who have been in the deepest and darkest pits of sin are finding deliverance and forgiveness and transformation. The homeless are finding housing. The hungry are being fed. And that's just with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in this little room. And I can tell you similar stories were shared with all of the groups. Jesus is alive and well. I praise the Lord for that. Hey, this is not going to be a long meeting. We're almost done, actually, except I want to share a couple of quick things coming up. So first, I just want to do a quick reminder for people that we have an unprecedented opportunity right now. And as people are hungry for relationship, hungry to get out of the house, hungry to do something connectional, your church could be that pivotal place, even as many of you are shared today, where that begins to happen. And when that happens, we need to gather safely, expand small, and help people. Gather safely, expand small, and help people. Now, here's what I mean by that. First, if it means meeting outside, if it means having multiple services, if it means whatever it means, do whatever you can not to be in a position to turn people away. If you're in a smaller venue and 25% capacity, although right now many of our counties are at 50% capacity already, and for a lot of our churches, 50% capacity is everybody coming to church on Sunday in terms of what the building will accommodate. But regardless, do everything you can to be in a position to include as many as you can. Because as everybody already, most of us have identified, people are coming to church that normally don't. People who normally aren't interested in connecting are actually connecting. In every single group, and this is the third of 3, there have been multiple stories where most of the people connecting, a lot of the normal people didn't show. In fact, a lot of the normal people are older, afraid of the virus, all that kind of stuff. The people that are showing are the fringe people, the people that have been hungry for something real, looking for some place where actually hope might be offered. You will not find another season like this. The pandemic is not a gift from God. It's a difficult curse upon human flesh. But every difficulty can be transformed to an opportunity through faith and obedience and action. So let me just suggest, even if it's extra work, make the effort for the harvest while the harvest is ready. So, number 1, gather. When I say gather safely, that doesn't mean ignore things. If you have to have multiple services for capacity, in order to have 6 feet distance and masks, do that. Meeting outside is still the safest and best. And Sam, there might even be a way to go to a park next door, if you, Sam Shar, to go to a park next door or something that doesn't, create all the problems that you have with your building shared with the daycare. So just think about it. This is when people will come. It's like the only time I will ever say, focus on being attractional. Focus on having a place where people will gather and take full advantage of that. Then the second thing, though, is but multiply small. This has been true throughout the pandemic. It was true when Jesus launched the movement. It's true for every single church plant we have that's been successful. And it's true for every church that's going to grow healthy. Gathering is an entry point. It's not the end point. We need to make sure that we're continuing to raise up small group leaders and people that can connect in small groups with people. That's where disciples are made. And that can be done virtually in incredible ways. You've been doing that. And as we get to meet in person, that can be done even more. But whatever happens, this is the unprecedented time where hurting people will be open to meeting for discipleship and connection. maybe need to have protection from being beaten up when they try to forgive the unforgivable from the perspective of others. I mean, this is where we need to provide people with that kind of support. Everything we do is relational. Make every effort to gather as big, even if it's multiple services, even if it's outside, and engage people then with those small group connections. Critical. And then 3, don't go all theological on people. People are angry. They're sad. They're depressed. They've been drinking. I mean, most people, maybe not people in your church, but the fringe people that are coming, they're guilted out because they've used all their downtime to be exploring pornography they never had time to do before. They're messed up. They're hurting. Their families are on the edge. They can't stand. They love their children. They just don't love spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with them, forced to watch a TV screen instead of school. I mean, people are just absolutely hurting. And so as you preach God's message of healing and hope and the power of community and love, and be practical. How do you re-engage each other when you're angry with each other? How do you do forgiveness? How do you care for your children in a way that provides for them encouragement when they're so discouraged by all the horrible things that have happened? I'm pretty sure that breaking down the good news of Jesus to a point where people's pain and need are right now is where you're going to be able to see the greatest amount of fruit. So just throwing that out. Don't turn anyone away if you can avoid it, even if it means you have to work extra hard. Continue to engage people in leadership development in small groups and connect people in small groups, because that's where they're going to be cared for, and that's where they're going to be. And make sure that you're meeting people in your teaching and in your ministry where they're at, not where you hope they'll be, and not where seminary is, but where they're at in their points of view. And God will do amazing